Yes, sir. You know what time it is. It's the Titans Coliseum podcast. We back at you for the third time this week. You know who I am. I'm Morocco. I'm here with my co-host, Firestone, RJ, and we got a special guest in the building. He don't need no introduction, but goddamn it, I'm gonna give him an introduction. Hey man, y'all know him. He been around since forever. Y'all can catch him on his podcast, Titans and True. Hey, Chris, Titans and True. Smooth. Y'all give it up for him.
Thank you for having me on.
Man,
Yes,
thank
sir,
you for
man.
coming, man. How you
Of
feeling?
course.
Yes, sir.
Um, Feeling pretty good. This is gonna be interesting, so I'm ready to rock and roll.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Firestone, how you feeling up over there, man?
Man, feeling good, man. The Tim Kelly news kind of came out of left field a little bit, which we're going to talk about and discuss today. But, feeling good, feeling good. Glad to be back.
Yeah, man, we gonna let y'all go off about that most definitely, man. Before we do, RJ, how you feeling, brother?
Hey, man, like I said, bro, you still see the energy that I'm on, man. Back and forth one energy, man.
I always choosing violence.
If it ain't violence, man, I don't know what else you want from me, man. It ain't authentic if it ain't violence.
Facts. Well, yeah, man, we finna go ahead and get into it, man. Chris, how you feeling about this Tim Kelly promotion, man?
All right, y'all ready to buckle up? Here we
Oh,
go.
yeah.
Right.
We
All
locked and
right.
loaded.
This Tim Kelly news honestly has me a bit unmotivated, uninspired. I mean, this could be a very slight upgrade. I know a lot of people will say, well, at least he's not Todd Downing. And that may be true. But you're talking about a guy that one of his offenses was close to one of the worst, and they were like in the middle of the road, but that was with Deshaun Watson. Did he do some good with Davis Mills? Maybe a little bit. Now, I think this move would have been a little less bad of a blow if they had just did the smart thing, fired Todd Downing after either the Eagles or the Bengals game, and let him audition. Give him 4 games, and let's see if he can call plays right and do it right for this team before we just give him the keys to the kingdom. But I think what really has me messed up is the comments that Mike Vrabel mentioned during his press conference. He basically stated, and I quote, he was the perfect fit, which, and also stated he feels the offense is not broken. And so when I first hear that, the first thing that comes to my mind is, dude, what part of the offense is not broken? Besides Derrick Henry, what is not broken? The offensive line was in shambles. You know, we had no receivers except Traylon Burks, and he had to deal with an injury and a concussion. You won't throw the ball to Austin Hooper or Chigga Conquo. And you have possibly the worst offensive lineman of all time starting at left tackle in Dennis the Dud Daly. And that's
Yeah.
exactly what he was.
Yes.
So to say that it's not broken is a bunch of crap.
Yeah.
And he would go on to say, well, they choose good people to go with what he believes in. And he stated, well, he obviously came out and said he wasn't going to make any coaching changes during the middle of the season and that it wouldn't have made much of a difference to put Tim Kelly as offensive coordinator in the middle of the year. And what I say to all of that is it wouldn't have been worse if you went ahead and did it. I mean, how bad could you get? You're already bad. How worse could things be if you go ahead and make that move? Talking about it wouldn't have made a difference. It might have could have helped a little, Maybe could have still won the division. Maybe could have still gotten the playoffs. Hey, solidify that this guy is the guy. And Mike Vrabel basically, he does what Vrabel does. He speaks fluent Belichickian. He basically does a lot of this, a lot of talking, and doesn't say absolutely diddly squat. He says nothing, but just does a bunch of rambling. And I think that's what pisses me off the most. It's really not necessarily Tim Kelly being named offensive coordinator. It's the fact that Vrabel, the offensive coordinator search was fake. It was a farce. It was a complete, if I may say, excuse my language, it was a shit show. Let's be honest. Because on record, they only interviewed 2 guys, Kelly and London, and some guy named Auden out of Denver. He didn't really interview no real candidates, even though he's trying to lead us to believe, oh, yeah. He had numerous interviews. I'm like, the numerous interviews being 3. So it sounded like they're cool with the status quo. You know, we're good. We're fine the way we are. We don't need to do much of a change. Go outside of the organization. Try something different because you know Vrabel is an arrogant jackass who believes that he knows all. And again, excuse my language, people, if any children are listening. But believes he knows all and all of us know absolutely nothing about this team or the game. When we probably know just as much, if not more than him. So it just sounded like he wants a bunch of yes guys who won't challenge his authority. So I just thought the process was lazy. If they really went and interviewed a bunch of credible guys and said, you know what, Tim Kelly interviewed the best. I think he's the best qualified guy for the job. We really did look outside hard, like the general manager search. The general manager search was thorough, and this was not. So I just thought it was fake. And so Tim Kelly, he better do a good job. And I know we're going to talk about this in a minute because there's a lot riding on this.
I agree with you, man. We're going to go ahead and get into Firestone, man, because he putting on the show with us Tuesday, and he told me right before we got on.
Hey, man, you had to let it out, man. You had to let it out, man.
It's all good, man.
Yeah,
it's all good. This is a safe haven. This is what we here for.
Yeah.
But, man, we going to let Firestone get into it, man, because like I said, before the show started, he told me, man, I got so much I got to say. I just need to shut up right now and say it. So, hey, Firestone, go off, brother.
Before you start, Firestone, man,
Go
hey,
ahead.
Appreciate that, Titan Rossi, man.
Oh, yeah, shout out to Rossi.
Yeah, shout out to
He got
Rossi.
his hoodie. Y'all make sure y'all go get some merch. We'll put the link to it in the comments so y'all can check us out. Hey, Firestone, it's your time.
Yeah, go on, do your thing,
so
bro.
I am so happy you came with that energy because that's the same energy I had at first, right? But I always try to look into things because, like you said, Vrabel does talk, Belichick very well. So he's not always just going to come out and tell you exactly how he feels, right? There's going to be code to it. But to me, I don't feel like it was BS on the hiring. Like, the GM search was a little bit easier because it's more appealing to a GM to come and build a team together. Like, let's be honest real quick as Titans fans. Did you really think any of these offensive coordinators that we wanted was really going to be interested in the offense that we have? Do you really think they wanted to come here and coach with the talent that we have? I don't think we really had the options of as many people that we thought we had. We might have wanted them and we called out the interviews, but we already saw the guy from San Francisco turned us down. A lot of people turned us down and didn't want to interview with us. And then if they did interview with us, we were their practice interview for the gig that they really wanted. We didn't have anything here that made it appealing for an offensive coordinator to come here. Look at the energy Vrabel had when we hired Ran Carthon. He was happy. He was excited at that interview. He was good. But look at this interview he had to do when we were talking about hiring Tim Kelly. He didn't look too happy, did he? He didn't look too excited. It looked like I wanted somebody else, but out of all the people that was willing to come here, this is the best guy we have for the options right now. Because we don't have anything built together that's going to be appeasing to say offense coordinators like, I can come here and work with this. Like right now, all we got is Derrick Henry in the hopes of Traylon Burks. So I think we didn't make Tim Kelly our OC at the middle of the year last year, because I don't think Tim Kelly was truly our pick to be OC. This is just the guy we kind of got stuck with in this situation. But I'm hoping that he does some good this year. He's coming from the tight ends position, which was the best position on offense last year by far. Our tight end group was our best positions last year on the field. But I just feel like Vrabel had to come out there and kind of sell this, because there's so many people in the organization that knew where Vrabel wanted to go with this offense, and we just couldn't get an OC for it. So now he had to come out here and say, yeah, this is the perfect fit, because he's going to need these guys to buy into this scheme next year. He needs the players to buy into Tim Kelly next year. So he has to come out and preach this perfect fit, and the offense isn't broken, because he's going to need guys to buy into the system next year if we're going to do anything. And he has to sell this to him, no matter if this was the guy he truly wanted or not. And I don't think it was. I just think this was the guy out of the options we had that made the most sense. But I don't think we truly had as many options as we thought.
Okay. All right, I guess I'll speak my piece on it. Look, my thing is with it, man. Vrabel, man, this better work, man. You know what I'm saying? Look, like I said on the last show, man, Vrabel, this better work, man. This is your guy. This is your decision. You picked a guy that didn't excite the fan base. That didn't seem like anything brand new that we're coming with. It seems like we're about to come out here and do the same thing that we've been doing. It better be the players and not the coaches, just like you did with Shane Bowen, which you was right about Shane Bowen. I ain't gonna lie. In 2020, I was a little bit nervous, but I was like, our line of scrimmage is trash, so it's really hard to be called players when your line of scrimmage is trash. It's the same thing on the offensive side of the ball. The line of scrimmage is trash, so it's hard to call plays when the line of scrimmage is trash. So my thing is with it is, we need to get the players, man. I want to see what it looks like when we have confident wide receivers. We have competent wide receivers, and we have a good offensive line where we can actually run Derrick Henry 30 times. And it's going to be effective. And it's going to wear down a defense, because I don't think we wore down a defense all season. You know, I didn't see not one back-breaking Derrick Henry run the whole season, and Derrick Henry had it in him. The only time I saw close to a back-breaking run was when we played Jacksonville in the last game of the season. They got called back because Chigga Conquo held. You know, so like I said, Vrabel, this better work. This is your guy. So if it doesn't work, I'm blaming you. And I'm not saying you're going to be gone next season, but your job will be in jeopardy, and you will be on the hot seat after this season if it doesn't work. That's all.
All right.
I don't think Vrabel spots in a situation like that, because I think people can see that, like, John kind of left us in a worse spot than we really had. Like, trying to hire an OC right now is very difficult when you don't have. Well, what do we need fixed? Offensive line. We have no wide receivers. The quarterback situation's in question. Like, no, Matt Nagy don't want to come here. Don't none of these other people want to come.
And see, the problem I have with that, I disagree a little bit on one point, is that, yeah, Vrabel kept saying for the last couple of years, it's the players, give me better players. It ain't the coaching. But I'm thinking, my thinking is like this. It's always if there are one or two players struggling, then 9 times out of 10, that one or those two players, they need to step up. They need to get their act together. But if an entire unit is struggling, then it's really time to look at who's coaching that unit, who is over that unit. Todd Downing was over that unit, and it stunk. And where I don't give Vrabel or anybody any excuses, where I think it is a coaching problem, and I think it is a Vrabel problem, is because a good coach knows how to mask deficiencies. He knows how to mask the problem. You know, make it so, dang, all these guys are injured, you know, but they're still doing good. I mean, look at San Francisco. Had a serious quarterback issue. Lance goes down second game of the year. Jimmy G comes in, he goes down. They go to their third quarterback, and San Francisco keeps clicking and ticking. Now, there's some other people around them that are fine, but they dealt with a few injuries. But Kyle Shanahan knows how to put their guys in the right position to be successful. Todd Downing never knew how to do that. Right. And honestly, I don't think Mike Vrabel knows how to do that either. Maybe defensively, but it's no more excuses. I would say this, and I know we're gonna mention it, but if Vrabel's putting some pressure on himself, plain and simple. So this is gonna be a big deal for Vrabel.
I just think it's the talent was a little bit different with how San Francisco was, and I'm with you when it becomes a unit. But what we've seen now between John and Vrabel was that John wasn't getting Vrabel the type of scheme players or the players that would fit in his scheme, and that shows when we don't get people that's going to fit in the scheme or play our styles. Like our DBs are slow. They have no reach, so we can't run the zone like Vrabel likes to run a lot because they're getting beat. So you're not giving them players that's actually to the style. But to your point, you still got to coach up and make things right and work. But how much can you do when you're not getting the actual players that you're truly wanting to fit your scheme? And then the players you do get, he trades away.
See, that's the thing. I think a lot of times, and what I don't like about certain coaches, Ken Whisenhunt, I know we shouldn't bring up his name, but that's the same thing. Try to make a square peg fit in a round hole. Instead of making the players fit what you want, you should be able to fit what you do around the skill set of your players. Fit it around what they can do. If you see these corners are short and, not able to get their hands, why are you playing 7 to 14 yards off the ball on every down? Maybe instead you play 3 to 5 yards off, nose to inside eye, so then that way you're not giving up the easy slant. You force them to go outside to beat you, and you get your hands on them within that 5 yards, so that way you don't get called for illegal contact or pass interference. But that's just my thought. But
they're slow, so they get burnt.
Yeah. We got some slow corners though, bro.
Yeah,
I hear that.
Yeah, so I agree with you on everything, but it's also like when you start weighing it, it's like, okay, yeah, we do that. Then you're like, fuck. Then they're burnt to the deep because they're not fast, they're not physical, they can't get hands on people because But yeah, you got to fix it. At the end of the day, it still falls on coaching to still get it done and fix it.
Well, I was looking at it like this. I know whenever I think we was on another show and we were talking about this, and I was saying I think it's a bend but don't break defense. Like he's just trying not to give up the deep chunk play. So that's why he's got these cornerbacks playing off. But even though I don't like it, man, even when like dude even said in this comment right here, he said it'd be 3rd and 2. And the cornerbacks are playing 10 yards off. And I don't like – that's when I don't like it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, nah, don't give them the 2 yards. You get what I'm saying? Like, but on 1st and 10 and 2nd and 10, he's playing off. It's like he's sitting there waiting on the offense to make a mistake on their own, so. We'll see.
They did a lot of that with Vrabel in New England, man. I mean, they were – for the most part, they was always bend but don't break. And you seeing it here in Tennessee right now, man. And I mean, it's frustrating because I mean, we just sitting up there giving dudes free yards, and then we depending on our defense to step up in the red zone. But when we go against these elite teams or whatever, I mean, they always get money in the red zone, man.
Yeah, exactly.
So, man, we're gonna need some taller corners, most definitely, and they need to allow those corners to play up on their guys. But y'all ready to go ahead to our next topic?
Yes, sir.
Let me answer the dude question. He said, "Would you pay $20 million for Tony Pollard?" No, I'm not paying $20 million.
Not $20 million.
No.
You saw what happened when they gave Zeke a contract similar to that. The dude just tanks off after that. No.
Yeah, you don't give a running back a contract unless he's literally like Derrick Henry, bro. Like, you don't give
and Derrick Henry, he wasn't even making $20 million a season.
Sure. I mean, look, they paid Le'Veon Bell too, and he didn't do what he was supposed to be doing either. Man. So yeah, contracts to running backs just doesn't work out.
Yeah, especially in today's game.
I will say though, with that new DB coach that we got, man, I want to see what he about, man. I feel like he gonna really. I like that dude, Chris Harris, man. I think he's a good pickup from the Washington football team. My bad, I don't even know what they are now. Washington Commanders. and you know, so I feel like yeah, for what I've heard from the Washington fans, they said that you guys are getting a good DB coach. So
Yeah, he's a fan
yeah,
of those big corners, and I think Vrabel
Yeah.
realizes that we need to get some bigger dudes on the outside. So he brought in a coach that believes in bigger guys on the outside. But let's go ahead and move on to our next topic. I mean, Chris pretty much said it, man. Vrabel, he done put some pressure on himself, making Tim Kelly the OC. But what I want to throw out there to y'all is, did Vrabel put himself on the hot seat by promoting Tim Kelly?
I don't think so. For me to go in because I truly believed in the situation. Like if Amy's involved now, like she says, all right, and just for the sake of my debate, because I know and where y'all's going. So for the sake of my argument, let's say that because it's not appealing for other offensive coordinators to come here. If they're not as interested as coming here, can you really blame Vrabel for having to hire what's left on the table and what's available? If that's the situation. Now, if the situation is other people is here interested and willing to come here, and then we still made this hire, then yes, he's on a hot seat. But I just don't see where a lot of OCs was like, oh yeah, Tennessee's definitely the place I want to go. Where a lot of GMs wanted to come here because they could rebuild a team up for a Super Bowl. Where OC can only do with what he's dealt with as players. So I don't think so, unless because I don't think there's a lot of options out there for us truly as much as we would like to hope for as fans.
You want to go ahead and take it, RJ?
just where I'm at, I just feel like, man, I think he put himself. He's really like putting himself forward now. Like this is my organization. This is what I'm going to do. Like it's starting to see now that this is going to be Vrabel's organization on top of saying with Miss Amy. But as in hot seat, I don't know, not yet. Like stuff got to go bad with his decision making before we put him on a hot seat. So no, I think he's safe.
Yeah, I would say he not so much on the hot seat, but he may be opening a can of worms with it. Like Firestone said, I mean, if this is a case of where there were other options out there and he just straight up chose to interview who he interviewed and made that hire, then yeah, he putting himself on the hot seat. But I mean, some of these OCs could have looked at our roster, looked who's coaching, and been like, nah, I ain't messing around with that right there. So, I think it's going to boil down to what happens in season. If Kelly comes out here and we have, I say a middle of the road offense, I mean, I personally won't be mad at that. I know some fans will because they always want to be, first and second and third in the league or whatever in offense. They want to score all the points. I do too, but it's a process to it. So I think if Kelly can get the offense back to at least middle of the road, they'll be safe. But, if it's, still where it's at right now, or just very, very, very little improvement, I think that seat's gonna get warm, man. This is what Chris been waiting on. Chris been waiting on this right here, so man, I ain't gonna hold him up. Go ahead and get to it.
Y'all gonna make this so easy for me because I'm actually surprised. I thought more would be going towards what I'm about to say, and this ain't even me playing devil's advocate. Gentlemen, it's time for y'all to realize Mike Vrabel is definitely on the hot seat for this one, and this is why. The fact of the matter is, Vrabel has always hired from the inside. He has always hired his guys. He has always hired his, no offense, the good old boy system. He follows that. He's doing Belichick. And the fact of the matter is this. Again, what I said earlier, this probably would have settled better with people if he had given Tim Kelly the shot towards the end of last year. Let him take a look, let him get his feet wet with the team, and then you have an idea what you're working with. Instead, you're just giving him the keys, and we have no idea who's going to be driving. And with Vrabel doing this, he is basically saying, I'm riding with my guys one more time. This is his last stand, because he's already got a couple of strikes against him. Strike one, he lost the number 1 seed, and he doubled down on Downing and blamed the players. Strike two, losing 7 in a row when you had a 3 to 4 game division lead and you lost everything. Now, I know people will blame injuries and all of that. I think that's more an excuse than a reason, but injuries were there. I will admit that. But strike two, you lost 7 in a row in a division you should have easily wrapped up a long time ago. So there's no excuse, and Vrabel deserves a lot of blame for that. And I don't think Vrabel gets blamed enough for that. We're blaming everybody else but him. Vrabel deserves the most blame for the collapse that happened. It was epic. It's different if we were kind of struggling a bit, win a couple games here, lose a couple games, key games there, and, we're at the end is like, what, we may have lost like 1 or 2 in a row, but we get this game, either better our spot or, is a difference between a wild card and a division title. And so we lost 7 in a row. That is really bad. And so Vrabel has a chance to see if last year was a fluke. If this thing fails, everybody's thinking this, everybody in the organization thinking this is going to work. This is going to be good. Get to the middle of the pack. And for his sake, they better. Because if this thing fails, forget saying if, in Vrabel's terms, when this fails, especially if they come out of the gates slow, if they come out of the gates and look pitiful the first 3 or 4 games, that seat's going to get hotter and hotter. And if it fails by the end of the year, Vrabel's pretty much gone anyway, because you're basically saying we're going to ride with Tannehill and Derrick Henry one more time. We're going to go one more time. They're in the last years of their contract. Vrabel's, Tannehill's in the last year of his. Henry's in the last year of his. They're going to resign Big Jeff. If they fail, you might as well tear the whole thing down offensively and just start all over from fresh. Get a new offensive-minded head coach. Offensive-minded head coach. And then, the defense can stay the way it is. Offense needs a complete overhaul. And I just don't know if Vrabel's going to do it. But for his sake, this better work. Because if it doesn't, Vrabel is as good as gone. Kiss his ass goodbye.
Yeah, man, I feel you on that, man, because, shoot, man, he gave down in a shot. We saw how that went. And then he gave him another shot, and it got even worse. So his answer to that, bring up the guy up under him, which is Tim Kelly. And if it doesn't get any better, who knows? Amy, she is cold as ice. I'm talking about she won't waste any time getting rid of you. We saw that in season with John Robinson. We saw that with Mike Mularkey. She didn't waste any time getting rid of those dudes. So, if this fails, I wouldn't be surprised if she got Vrabel up out of there. But, man, Vrabel, he has some interesting comments about Tannehill, which Rossi just made a comment himself about. He doesn't know what if Tannehill is going to be here this season. Vrabel.
I just put it up.
Yeah, man. I just have a feeling we may not be riding with Tannehill this year. I don't know. Who knows?
I know who we can get.
Look, we already know who you want.
I think with this move, unless something shocking happens, I think they're riding with Tannehill. I think they're definitely riding with Tannehill one more time. Mm-hmm. And it's going to depend if Rand Carthon can give him what he needs. This if they get the money right, free agency wise, they can. I think they can fix the offensive line. There may be a good receiver or two that you could trade for, whether it's possibly T. Higgins or, dare I say DeAndre Hopkins or somebody that's available. Somebody's going to be available we didn't think would be, and maybe we take a shot at that. But this free agency period and this draft is going to be critical to where this team goes. And if they have a shot to be successful offensively, this better be a fully offensive offseason. And maybe add like one or two pieces defensively, but mainly offensively.
I just think this year is going to be kind of like the first stepping stone in actually building. Like I was saying, this ain't an attractive place for us. Like, we always hope for these things, but Tennessee's never been an attractive place for anybody coming here in free agency, coaching, period. Like, media don't talk about you, nothing like that. So I think this year is going to be a year they're going to try to build some pieces and get some more things that's more attractive to some more eyes. And then unless this offensive coordinator unless Tim Kelly has a year like Arthur Smith did at offensive coordinator, I'm pretty sure this is only going to be a 1-year deal. I think they're going to try to get some talent on the roster this year. Then next year we're going to be looking for another offensive coordinator, and hopefully we're more appealing and we can go get a more advanced and more forward thinking about the NFL is going type of coordinator, because you saw the type of energy Vrabel had. He said what he wanted to have, and then we went and got Tim Kelly. Like, I think if Tim Kelly was truly the dude, he would have hired him and let him take over last year with Downing. But I don't think he was truly that dude. So hopefully they build a bunch of pieces around. I agree with you. I think free agency, we can get some people on the offensive line, then go try to draft and try to draft some players, and so I think that'll work as well too. But I don't know. I think it's one more year with Tannehill, 1 year with this offensive coordinator. Hopefully we can build some pieces around, and then next year I think is the ideal situation. We go draft a quarterback, and hopefully we can be more appealing to an offensive coordinator because we'll have a quarterback coming and all that other stuff as well. But yeah, I think it's one more year. Yeah, hopefully.
So, what y'all think about Tannehill, man? I really think I think he's gonna be the quarterback next year. From what I heard from Vrabel, he said that he was in the building like every single day and he's been working. Mm-hmm. So, I really think he's gonna be the quarterback. But if I feel like if Vrabel want to buy some time, you know what I'm saying? I think he should trade up with Bryce Young. Bryce Young. At least you know what I'm saying. At least he know he has a season of a rookie year that he can coach this guy up. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's Tannehill. Although it would not shock me if they did try to trade up and get a Bryce Young or a C.J. Stroud, but I will say this. I don't like the fact that I'm hearing all of this negativity toward Malik Willis. And here's my reason why, before everybody laughs at me. The fact of the matter is, this kid got called on in a season he wasn't even supposed to play. Was supposed to sit on the bench and learn from Tannehill. He got called in, and I'm hearing guys like my good old buddy Jared Stillman of Stillman and Company and others saying, okay, he sucks. Give up on him. He can't do it. And my thing is this. They basically put him in position to fail. They put him in a position to fail because they wanted him to run the offense like Tannehill. And they are two different quarterbacks. They are not the same. The read option works better with him because he has a little bit more speed. I just think with the right coaching, Malik could be better than what he has shown. He does need time. Now, he did show he's not ready yet. He is not ready yet. But I think with the right coaching, he can be ready. But right now, I just think they're going status quo. They riding with Tannehill just one more time.
Yeah, I think my take on Malik Willis. Look, I know I've been with this pipe dream of trading up for Bryce Young, But yeah, I agree. Malik Willis was not given a fair chance of being the franchise quarterback, or being the starting quarterback, or even being the quarterback that we can believe in. Like he literally just got thrown out there. Like people are like not giving up on him, talking about he ain't never gonna be good. I'm like, dude, he's a rookie. Like
We
you
don't
can't
know.
name me too many rookies that just came in there year one and was just killing it. Like Andrew Luck was probably the only like real rookie, like Justin Herbert. That's two quarterbacks I can just think off the top of my head. You know, that's two quarterbacks out of the 50 million quarterbacks that get drafted in the NFL, man. Like it's the league is hard for every quarterback when they first come to the league. You got to give them time for the game to slow down. You got to give them time for them to get a grasp of a legitimate offense in the NFL and learn plays. Like it takes a minute. You know, look at Josh Dobbs. He been bouncing around team after team after team till he got to us. And he was by the time he got to us, he was like, oh, I already know how to do all this stuff. You know, it
But
takes a minute.
I wouldn't say it's not fair because that's football, bro. Next man up. That's fair. That's just how football goes. So that's an excuse I don't want to give to him because that's football. You need to be ready at any time to be called upon. Your number is ready. So yeah, he's young and that situation happens. But for me with Malik, I'm not full on like give up on him. But I truly believe he's at least a 2 or 3 year work. At least before he gets there, because for me it's not talent and it's not athleticism. For me it's his mental. He's very still immature. He doesn't look like things have clicked, that he's in that next level yet. He still looks like he's just happy to be here. He's just happy to have made it to the NFL, and that's my issue with him. He doesn't look like he's matured yet, and you can't have that back
true.
there because he can make those throws. Go ahead.
I love, and I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
I do love his tweets of like, thank you God for another chance, thank you God for being here, and that's great.
Right.
And it does seem like even after a loss, he just seems way too happy. Like, dude, we just lost a game where you choked in the fourth quarter. Now that is a problem in the games, especially with Kansas City and the Houston game the second time.
Yeah.
They put the ball in his hands and he choked.
Yes.
He kind of looked like a deer seeing headlights, and that is something that he's gonna have to improve. He's gonna have to improve his game awareness and things like that. So I definitely agree that I think that the talent is there. The talent is there, but I just think the mental part and the game slowing down for him, I think that has to come. He's got to be seriously ready. Like, this ain't no game right now.
Correct. Yeah.
I will say one thing though, like, dude, Malik, like, you don't have very many chances next season, dude. Like, we're not this. Okay, we give you this 1 year. You know what I'm saying? Where they kind of kept throwing you out there, this, that, and the other. Next season, if you don't show up, they're gonna cut you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, you doing the same stuff you was doing in your rookie year, man. They're gonna cut you. You know, and I just look at it like this: you a 3rd round pick. Yeah, you know, we was happy for you, but like we don't like Chris Manning said in this comment right here. He said we're in right now mode. I don't think a lot of fans want to wait 2 or 3 years for a quarterback to develop. I don't think the Titans gonna do that. You know, so come out here, show some improvement, and when it's time for you to get out there and be the quarterback, don't give the job back to anybody else. Just be the quarterback for a long time. That's exactly what Tom Brady said. He said, when you finally get your opportunity to go out there, don't give it back to nobody else. So
yeah.
And plus, too, I ain't about to just say, to hell with Malik, because of the simple fact that he came into the league with Todd freaking Downing as his OC. I mean, shoot. we see how Tannehill was with his first season up under Downing. I mean, shoot. The man went from being pretty much a top 10 quarterback to being probably bottom of the league when it comes to, efficiency. I mean, he was throwing just interceptions left and right. He got better with it, this season right here, but I mean, still, Malik was thrown out there in a tie down in offense. I mean, you already know the route concepts are horrible. I mean, the spacing is horrible. I mean, just everything about Downing is horrible. And I just feel like it wouldn't be right to hold Malik accountable for the foolishness of what Downing had going on, plus the offensive line. I mean, offensive line, very little weapons and receivers. I mean, all of that. I mean, and I say the same thing for all these quarterbacks, no matter if it's Tannehill, Malik, or Dobbs. I mean, they all out there playing with the same. Well, they're not playing now, but they played with the same foolishness. So yeah, man. Give Malik, this next year coming up. I mean, he's going to have a legitimate OC. He's going to have a new quarterback coach, and the game don't slow down for him right now. I mean, we're gonna have to cut him because Rand Carthon, he owes him nothing. He didn't draft him, and I mean, it looks like Vrabel don't too much like him as is. I mean, I don't even think Vrabel wanted to draft the guy. That was a straight up J-Rob pick.
No, and to your agreement or to what you were saying too. Remember when Dobbs was on Busting with the Boys? He was like, we had a great game plan going into Jaguars, and then we went into the game, and Downing starts calling plays we didn't even run in practice. He's like, I was throwing some balls to some wide receivers in that game that I have never even made to those wide receivers yet, that I have never even made those throws in practice yet. So, like, Todd Downing was sometimes throwing them through loopholes that could make you look like you got deer in headlights because, like, we didn't practice this shit. Everything's already new enough. You can't spring that on a rookie, too, on top of that. So, I that's why I can't judge him physically wise. That's why I judged him off his mental. Is like, it just doesn't seem like he's truly mentally ready yet. Because it's too unfair to try to judge him with everything that we had on the field this year and play calling.
Yeah, and I mean, again, that's why I thought this is why I put it on Vrabel. Vrabel hired the guy, and it's what everybody's been saying. Downing had absolutely no feel for the game whatsoever. Like, after the first 15 plays that was scripted, it's like he had no clue what he was doing. He never tried to adjust. He never tried to adapt. And as a coach, you got to be able to, we talk about you got to make halftime adjustments. So, yes, you got to adjust from half to half, but you also got to be able to try to adjust quarter to quarter, series to series, sometimes even play to play. You got to be able to adjust and change up. You got to see that it's like, okay, Dad, they're coming out in this look. They might see something coming. We got to come with this to counter that. You got to always be ready because when they make an adjustment, we know this, you got to make an adjustment to the adjustment. You got to be a step ahead. And Downing always seemed like he was 3 steps behind.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I'll never forget, I went to the Bengals game, the game we played the Bengals this season, and like I'm sitting there, man, the whole game, like the whole first half, I'm watching, man, they're still trying to run Derrick Henry on 5. They had 5 D linemen on the line of scrimmage, and we were still trying to run Derrick Henry. I'm like, bro, I'm seeing all these blitzes they sending and stuff. I'm like, dude, like they sending the safety, they sending the corners, they sending linebackers. I'm like, bro, if we don't hit these boys deep, bro, like I'm saying it in the first quarter. I'm like, bro, hit them deep, man, so they can stop blitzing. It took this man down into the third quarter to finally throw deep to Burks. Like, I'm like, man, this dude, he needs to go, man. He don't know. Yeah. He don't know what he calling, man. He just doing whatever the play script is telling him to do. He's not adjusting to what the defense is doing.
It's like he's in his head. Yeah, it's like he's in his head too much. Like he's overthinking. So, oh well, I bet they think we're going to do this, so let's do this. And then you're like you're just overcomplicating, overthinking shit, and really you're making yourself very fucking predictable or very predictable.
And I don't think one thing about it with Downing, I'm like, if you got a hot hand, keep going to that. And that's the problem I had. I even had that back to last year. I know a lot of people would say, well, Julio Jones wasn't a good idea. You should have brought him in. And the problem I had with that is you didn't throw the man the damn ball when he was in there. I'm like, throw the man the damn ball. That's what he's there for.
Yeah, he wasn't throwing it to him.
I'm like,
when nothing for him.
When Chig is in there, get them the ball. I don't care what down it is. Get him. There's no excuse that Chig, Hoop, and Burks, each of them should have at least 6 to 7 targets a game. At least.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Facts.
And there's no way. The Burks should have had way more 100-yard games. He should have had way more.
That's why I think Tim Kelly's going to be a little positive. Because at least we know, like, at least with Arthur Smith, because, like, it's not going to be a big positive. But at least, like, with Arthur Smith, we knew that the tight ends got more involved. And we know that Chig needs to get more involved. So hopefully, Chig will start getting more involved. But, man, I'm still not happy about the Tim Kelly shit, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's gonna be we in for a ride, man.
This is my thing on Tim Kelly though. Like, man, we got to let him call the game, man. We can't.
Yeah,
we
do.
judging the man before he called the game, man. And according to Vrabel, man, he didn't really do much in the offense, man. Like last season, so like he didn't really have anything to do with what this offense was going on. This was all tied down in, man. Let's give Ty Kelly. Let's give Tim Kelly a chance, man, to call this offense before we judge him, man.
You know that though, because I mean, people been talking about them first 15 plays, and I mean, them first 15 plays, we look like a top offense in the league, and then after that, I mean, we look like exactly what we were, in which we were the 32nd ranked offense. I mean, something was going on with that. I mean, I don't think. I just can't give Ty down to that much credit.
No.
I can't give him that much credit to say that, you know, he just comes up with these 15 awesome plays and then just goes downhill from there. Nah, I mean, what we got in most of those games looked like two different play callers. I mean, you could tell with the tendencies because, I mean, in some of those 15 plays, we came out throwing and we had success. And then you go to this second half, it was run, pass, or run, get a penalty call, screen pass, draw. I mean, I hated that little halfback draw.
The last
3rd and 15, I just despised
that Jaguars game did it for me. I mean, the numbers don't lie. 28 first down plays, 24 runs on first down. Every time on first down, you knew it was going to be a run into a stacked box. First and 10, run. First and 10, run. First and 10, run.
Yeah,
you can't pass the ball on first down.
Yeah, like they ran it so much, you thought that they was going to start setting up play action, but then they never fucking did. You know, they never did. So I was like, man, it's like, come on, if we're going to run this much, you got to start running play actions, but you don't run them.
I don't understand it, man. I've never seen play calls like that. They was making us seem like, all you guys gonna do is run Derrick Henry, because the offensive coordinator sucks. Like, this dude was trash, bro. Like, he was trash, dude. I'm just so glad he's gone, man. I'm talking about, man, we had the same, like what Ken said. He said the same reaction that we got to Carthon coming in the building was the same reaction that we got when Ty down and left.
Yes. Yeah.
God, he was trash.
But yeah, man, we're going to go ahead and move to our last topic of the night. I mean, it's time to, you know, reopen the old wound with A.J. Brown. I mean, he's in the Super Bowl this week. I mean, he's in the Super Bowl, and we're here talking about, you know, whether Vrabel's on the hot seat or whatever. So, A.J. Brown, he was at Super Bowl Media Day, and he had quite a bit to say about the Titans. Surprisingly, I mean, he's showing love. He said a lot of guys have reached out to me. Brown said, Coach Vrabel reached out to me. I have no hard feelings for nobody in Tennessee. There is nothing but love, and they are still showing me love too. I put in a lot of time with these guys, Vrabel. Vrabel said of Brown, if you don't do it the right way, you can still have if you do it the right way, you can still have a relationship after they're on someone else's team. AJ and I spent a lot of time together and shared a lot of personal conversations. Of course, I wish him the best. So, guys, what do y'all have to say about that? AJ still loves the Titans, and apparently the Titans players and Mike Vrabel still love him.
I'll start it off. Yeah. So, AJ Brown, man, hey, man, like I said, man, once we found out the details on what was going on behind the scenes, man, and we found out it was more J Rob than it was you, I was like, man, don't do your thing, man. I'm happy for you. I'm glad you broke the single season record for the Eagles, man. Go win you a Super Bowl, man. It was, like I said, it was our fault, man. You proved to everybody that you're the receiver that you was, that we all thought that you was, that you earned every single penny of that contract, man. Go ahead, go win you a ring, bro.
Yeah. So go ahead. Yep.
I'm sorry. All I got to say, and I said this on my show, I told you so. Anybody out there that's listened to me, because I had a lot of fans say to me, you got to let AJ go. Let him go. He ain't with us no more. You see what happens? You see? He's in the Super Bowl right now, and we're sitting at home. That was the dumbest move John Robinson ever made in his life, and it cost him his job. And to anybody that said, oh, no, it wasn't a coincidence that, it was a coincidence that John Robinson got fired after that game. That's exactly what happened. AJ took John Robinson to the woodshed, and he whooped his ass like a mama would do her child when they did something wrong. And I said this on the show, I said, it hurt him. AJ basically said, this hurts me more than it hurts you. I don't want to do this to you, but I have to. I got to teach you a lesson. I got to teach you shouldn't have traded me. And you daggone right he shouldn't have. And AJ basically helped prove me right. I was mad from the moment that trade happened. I was in Florida with my family when I should have been in Vegas. I see this trade going down. I literally almost cussed in front of my mama. I literally almost went off and cussed in front of my mama, and I try not to do that out of respect for her. I was about to say the S word, D, A word. I was about to say a bunch of expletives that would not be family friendly. So, AJ, go get that ring. I'm cheering for you. You should have still been a Titan. But got love anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was heartbroken, and at first I was mad. Like I was like RJ. I was upset. I was mad. I was in Vegas. I was walking down the strip with the AJ Brown jersey on that I just got 2 weeks beforehand. I was more than upset. But when we figured out what was really happening, what J Rob did, we start to understand that, like, he got done dirty. So I want to go see him win a Super Bowl. I want to go see him go get what he deserves, because he out there, he's a beast. It's been a lot of Titans, great Titans we've had on this team, and we've not been able to get them a ring. So at least he gets to go get himself a ring, and maybe tides will turn around and he'll find himself back here sometime in the future.
Yeah, man. I mean, I went through a world of emotions with this whole AJ Brown thing. I mean, I was just like y'all when the news came down, man. I was saying every cuss word. I was inventing cuss words. I mean, I was going through it all. And then, conflicting reports was coming out saying that, he was offered $16 million. And then they were saying, nah, we offered him this. And then more reports came out saying that ownership had cleared $25 million.
Yeah.
And he was offered $16 million by J Rob instead. I mean, it was just, all over the place, man. And I don't think we're ever going to get the truth about the situation. But, I wish AJ the best, man. I mean, as much as I want to see Andy Reid stick it to the Eagles as well, I mean, I'm not going to be mad if AJ and Kern walk away from that game Sunday with Super Bowl rings, man. I mean, they deserve it. I mean, they put in a lot of work here, especially Kern. I mean, I know this is an AJ segment, but man, we can't forget about Kern, man, because that's our legend right there, man. But them guys deserve a ring, and man, I'll be more than happy to see them get it.
I guess. Was that it? Was that what everybody got, man? Is that
Yeah,
how everybody feel about AJ, man?
I do want to say that.
man.
I do want to say I love how he worded in that statement. I have love for everybody that is in Tennessee. Notice that J Rob ain't in Tennessee no more, so he can say that truthfully now.
No, I remember when it was all going on and people was calling him a diva. I'm like, he not a diva, man. He trying to get his money. Like, what the
Oh,
heck?
he a diva, but he a dog too. I mean, he
Yeah.
got some diva tendencies. So I mean, he can act up. He cuts up. I mean, you saw against the Giants. I mean, they was up 27 points, and he on the sideline throwing temper tantrums. I mean, yeah, he a diva, but he a dog too, and he'll make you pay for it every single time.
I mean, I kept saying it all year. Pay that man. And then he got the contract. I'm thinking we couldn't do anything close to that. We could have I told Teron Davenport this. I was talking to him. I said my offer would have been 5 years, 110, about 60 million guaranteed. That would have came out to about 23 and a half. I think he would have took that.
Yeah. And for what they said, like Amy authorized 4 years, 20 to 25 million per year for 4 years. So that hits around that mark of 80 million for 4 years, about close what you would say for five that. But I think when they went to that, right, and so I think when they went to that field, she went and asked him, like, hey, did you ever get an offer for 20 or 25 million? He's like, nah, just 16. She's like, oh, okay. And then she went back and checked the office and pulled the sheets, because I think John told her that whole time, yeah, I gave him that. Then she went and pulled the transaction receipts and was like, he did only offer them 18. Hey, John, come here. I need to talk to you, buddy. So I think she finally found the truth about what John really did, because they offered them that, told him to get that, and she told him that she wanted Jeffrey Simmons signed before the year was up, and he didn't do that either. He always likes to wait till that last minute to get shit done.
And that's another thing. That's another reason John Robinson got fired. First of all, you botched that whole thing with AJ where you could have paid him. Then you gonna have the nerve to tell Jeffrey Simmons, "Oh, we want to keep it, but we'll have no idea how we're gonna pay you. We don't know how we're gonna pay you."
Yeah, I feel like, God.
Like, you don't tell him
about
that.
to trade his ass. He was gonna trade him. You about to trade him.
Yes.
You tell him we gonna do whatever it takes. I don't care what we gotta do. We gonna get you your money. That's what you're supposed to say.
Exactly.
And Red Carthon already basically talked to Big Jeff, and Jeff is behind it. And he said, Red's already said Big Jeff is one of his biggest priorities.
Yes.
Right. You can't undermine these players, man. I mean, shoot, they grown men just like you grown men. I mean, they may not be NFL executives, but they watch what goes on around the league. And you mean to tell me that you got AJ Brown sitting up here watching, guys like Christian Kirk, get $18-20 million. Devontae Adams getting $27 million. Tariq getting what, 30 million, something like that, high 20s. I mean, he's sitting here watching these dudes get paid, and then J-Rob approaches this dude with $16 million and then goes on to tell Jeff Simmons, well, I don't know how we gonna pay you. I mean, I understand it's a negotiation. I understand negotiation and you got to use negotiation tactics, but dude, you just straight up undermining people. And just to think about it, I mean, you said something too, Chris. I mean, he always waited to the last minute with these dudes, and he been doing that ever since he got hired. I mean, you have to think back to the Delaney Walker deal,
Henry's deal.
Henry's deal. I think he did a deal with Jarrell Casey as well. When did all of that get done? It got done.
He was quick as hell to pay Ryan Tannehill.
With that,
he was quick as hell to pay him.
I think there was some of Vrabel didn't want Tannehill to get up out of there, but J-Rob, I mean, he always paying dues in training camp. We didn't realize what was going on back then, but now we most definitely see what was going on.
That
Yeah.
Jarrell Casey trade, I was working a job. I saw it come on my phone. If you could see the look on my face, figuratively, my jaw dropped to the floor like, what the F? John Robinson, what did you just do? And it just, I should have knew then.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, J. Rob, man. I mean, he done some good things for us, but I mean, it was clear to see the house was most definitely burning down. But we're gonna go ahead and wrap up the show. Chris, it was a pleasure having you here, brother. You got anything you want to say? You got any, shout outs you want to make?
Let them know where they can find you.
Yeah, all that.
First of all, thank y'all for having me on. Thank y'all for letting me be on here and, yell my head off a little bit. I just did an episode of TNT Tonight last night. Wow, seeing the Hall of Fame class come out. How did Darrell Reeves get in so quick?
That island, bro.
Darrell Reeves get in.
Yeah, that man cold, bro.
He had that island, bro.
But I definitely put out an episode last night talking about the promotion and everything. So definitely check out Titans and Truth. Definitely subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that bell and go ahead and subscribe. You won't regret it. I'll talk about a little bit of the Senior Bowl and what happened there a little bit more. And definitely got to have the Coliseum on in full mass.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
We here.
That's one thing about us, man. We always gonna bring that energy, man. Always gonna bring it.
Love it.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
I appreciate y'all.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
absolutely.